Forgot to record. Okay, so we're recording now. Wafa, thank you for monitoring the WhatsApp group, and Nachirvan. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah, Nachirvan.
Nachirvan. Thank you for monitoring the chat. Now I am going to briefly advanced. Okay. Share my screen with you. Whoops. There you go. All right. So today we're going to talk about the different kinds of, or the different modes of online teaching. And in particular, we're going to talk about how to foster communicative engagement in synchronous, asynchronous, and hybrid courses. But before we do that, we're going to do a little review. So we've got my volunteer assistants. Thank you so much. I would like to review the Scavenger Hunt, which I know at least most of you completed, and thank you so much for doing that. Then we're going to give an overview of asynchronous learning, which is learning that's not what we're doing right now. You know, that's when people log on at times that are convenient to them, because we haven't talked about that yet. And then we're going to do an interactive group brainstorm about managing online courses. And for that, I've taken some of the questions that you've asked me either in our Zoom meeting or in our Google Classroom, and inserted them into the directions for today's discussion. So hopefully we'll come out of that with some ideas that are useful to you. So I am going to stop sharing my screen for a second and open my Google Classroom. Okay. Is everybody logged into the Google Classroom? Has anyone had any issues getting logged into that today? Okay, that is perfect. So one of the things we looked at last week, and I asked you to do if you had time, was to go over our scavenger hunt in here. Now, I see this is the teacher view, right? So you probably can't see this in your own Google Classroom, but I can see that 6 people have turned it in, and it's been assigned to the 24 people enrolled in the course, which is kind of problematic because there should be 30 people enrolled in the course. So if you aren't enrolled in the course, please do WhatsApp me or email me, and we want to make sure that we get you enrolled. Now, I know that more than 6 people did this because when I go to look at the assignments, other people have turned them in. But what I would like to look at right now is your answers. So what are the names of the 3 items you can access in important links? So the idea behind this activity is really just to get you familiar with how our asynchronous course shell is organized. And everyone who turned it in, for the most part, got pretty much everything right, except for number 6, the bonus question. But I'm very quickly going to show you the answers to these questions. So write the names of 3 of the items you can access in important links. So if we go up here and we scroll down here to important links, there are 4 possible answers, of which you only needed to write 3. So there's a Zoom link for day 2. There's a poll on workshop times going forward, a link to our WhatsApp group, and our consent forms. So this is the answer here. And to get to this page, you just have to press classwork. Okay. Where can you find Ahmed Hamza's lecture on descriptive writing with Google Docs and Google Meets? Okay, this was kind of a trick question because Mr. Hamza has been very generous in sharing his ideas and resources. No, Aurora, I'm sorry, that's my dog. So where
Sorry, Kathleen, just one quick question. Mr. Ahmed Hamza is asking the screen is black. Maybe he's,
Is your screen black, Nachirvan?
No, mine is fine, but I guess his is black.
Well,
So
would you please, Kathleen, would you please do something for the screen? My screen is totally black. Nothing visible.
So is anyone else having a problem that the screen is black?
I think it's only Ahmed.
Yeah.
So Ahmed, so the problem is with his PC or phone.
Sure.
Mr. Ahmed, you can solve this by leave the Zoom meeting and try to rejoin again. The problem will be solved automatically.
Well, I wouldn't like to do this because I'm actually recording the session. And that's why I wouldn't like just to leave.
Well, I'm also recording the session, so you should be able to, you'll keep the recording, but I think you're having some kind of connectivity issue that you're going to have to try to experiment with on your end. So I do think it's a good idea to leave the Zoom so that you can see the screen, and possibly even to, did you leave? Maybe. Possibly even to turn off the computer and turn it on again. Turning things off and on are always the first step in solving computer problems. I know that sounds like technical advice from the 1980s, but it's actually still very true today. All right, so I'm going to continue and hope that he can join again. Nachirvan, can you let me know if you see him pop into the Zoom again or not? Like if he's not here in 5 minutes, can you let me know?
All right.
Thank you. So Mr. Hamza, or Dr. Hamza, I think, shared several things. But the one that is a little bit harder to find is down here in digital tools and resources. If you click on sharing resources, there is a Google Drive folder. And here are several different videos from Dr. Hamza on, here's the one on descriptive writing. So if you click that, come back again. If you click that, it will open and it will play the lecture that he so generously recorded. One thing I'll note, it is great for you to share these resources, but make sure you have your students' permission if you're going to post them to the course. So if your students are featured in the video, it's really important that you have their permission. I don't know what the laws are like in Iraq, but here, if you share them and you don't have your students' permission, you're violating some laws. He told me.
May I say something, Catherine?
Yes.
With regard to permission for, videos that are, related to students.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, these videos are taken by the permission. The permission is guaranteed because students previously knew that this is for the educational purposes. And that's why no need just to have their own permission because they knew that they were recorded and these are safe. This is the idea.
Yeah, that's perfect. And a lot of professors or schools ask students to sign consent forms, so there's no issue there. So if that's your case, that's great because you can share whatever you want to. But if for other people who maybe are in a different institutional setting, they should just be careful to research that whether they have the student's permission automatically or whether they need to get the permission before they post the videos. But yes, I'm very glad that you got the permission. Thank you. So I saw other people share resources as well, and I think they shared them in our stream. This is also a fine way to share. So thank you, Jian. How do you say your name? Is she here? No. I think she may have emailed me that she couldn't come today. But she shared several lectures about Google Jam. And I think these are YouTube videos, which are really great resources. Mr. Hamza shared the same videos again down here in the stream. So it's my preference that instead of sharing them in the stream, you share them in classwork, which you can do by opening this file, going to New, selecting File Upload, and then choosing any file you want to upload, and it will be right there for all of us. All right, so back to the scavenger hunt. As a group, this was back when we were trying to do this in groups, add one question to the discussion board called Share Any Questions About Online Language Teaching Here. And when you've finished, write Done here. So several people did this. So we need to find this discussion board. Oops. Oops. Okay. Now I can't find this discussion board. Let's see. Aha. Share, it's right here in discussions. Share any questions about online language teaching here. And when we view this, we see the questions that people asked. If you're viewing this as a student or as a teacher, you can press reply and it will enter your reply and notify that person via email. Okay. Find one academic article on digital instruction from Google Classroom and write its title here. So. This is in the large folder, Digital Tools and Resources. If you click Readings, a link to a Google Drive comes up. And here are the academic articles. So you could have written the names of any of these articles on teaching online. Also in this are language teaching methodology articles and web articles on digital instruction. Okay. Find the Digital Tools Google Drive folder. Write a brief sentence describing what you see there. So, digital tools. Okay. This is, I hope, one of the most important resources in our Google Classroom. This has the name of many different digital tools, a brief description, a description of its format, whether it's an app, a website, a learning management system, a link for you to access the tool, and then training instructions and training instructions in text. Additionally, there are a few links on how to use these in educational contexts, but I haven't added all of those. Now, the bonus question in Google Classroom in our scavenger hunt was, what's on sheet 2? I didn't see very many people who got that answer right. So yesterday we did a Google Sheets tutorial, but we didn't look at the fact that you can add 2 sheets to one Excel sheet online. So down here, if you tap digital tools, you have sheet 1. And if you tap right next to it, digital training resources, this takes you to a list of resources for teachers who are trying to move to online instruction. It has the name of the resource, a description. A couple of these are YouTube channels, a couple of these are websites, and a link. So when you go, let's say, to one of these links, it will give you access to different people's websites on how teachers of many different subjects integrate digital tools into their teaching. And I think that this is one of the most important resources in the classroom because technology is something that's not static, right? It's constantly changing. So what was popular or even accessible a year ago is not always popular or accessible today. And next year, that will be different as well. So having these links to people who are staying on top of all of these resources is a really wonderful way to stay current in digital instruction. And I use these links a lot. So when I created sheet 1 here, most of these links I collected from these other people's, these other educators' websites. So that is a resource that I hope will be useful to all of you. Now, did anybody have any questions or problems while they were trying to do the scavenger hunt? No? Okay, oops, sorry. I just wanted to share this one more time. When you go into the scavenger hunt as a student, I think you can see my whole screen right now. I'm just going to access this as a student myself before I was in the teacher view. So if I come down here to Google Classroom, and I go down here to Scavenger Hunt, to turn it in, I can press here. So you have 2 ways to turn this in. You can either click share and email me the link, or you can click turn in and it will directly notify me that you've submitted. And that's the case for any assignment in the course. I would appreciate it if after you complete any activities like that, if you see a turn in button, you turn it in, and then I will know, okay, I can go provide feedback on this now. Because if you don't turn it in, what then the teacher in a Google Classroom has to do is individually look at all of the documents to see whether or not they're complete. All right, any questions or comments on our Google Classroom? All right. So moving right along.
Catherine, just a note. I'm sorry I didn't do the scavenger hunt because I thought we were going to do the activity in a group. So I was just, I'm feeling ashamed of not doing it. I was just waiting for the activity to be in a group.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was not very clear. Originally, I had intended for it to be in a group, but that was the day that we had all of the problems with people signing up for the group in the Excel sheet.
That's true. And I was waiting. I thought it was today we're going to do the activity. So I'm just shocked. I've seen some people have already signed, the assignment.
Yeah, no, that's not your fault at all. And it's not like a required homework. So don't worry about it. Sadiq?
I thought the same.
Same, yeah. I was waiting for this activity, yeah.
Yeah, I am also in the same boat.
Okay, so
this is the problem of people doing linguistics. They focus on words,
so
the meaning of words.
Everyone is in on the same boat.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm not alone. That's good.
No, you're not alone.
Maybe Kathleen can assign a different assignment to us, maybe?
What did you say, Nichirvan?
I said maybe you can assign a different task to us.
Oh, like makeup homework, you mean?
Well, I don't know.
Well, so here's what I think. The scavenger hunt idea was really, it had, as like the teacher of this course, right? It had three purposes. One was to work together collaboratively in a group, signing up with Google Sheets, and then exploring Google Docs together. We accomplished like half of that goal because we did sign up for Google Sheets and in groups, but it took a long time. So you didn't get to explore the Google Doc together in a group. The second like objective of that activity was just to make sure you were comfortable with Google Classroom. So if you haven't done the scavenger hunt yet, I do think it would be a good idea for you to do it alone and then just hit turn in, and it will make me feel confident and you feel confident that you can find all the resources that are there. Okay?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to do it because I need to know these, you know, the places of what you asked for. Is yeah, though you have already given the answers, but still we need to do it by ourselves. So yeah, for sure, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and I guess I can make another scavenger hunt too. They're easy to make with some different information, but honestly, I think the information included in that scavenger hunt is the most important information to know.
True.
So I would just do the scavenger hunt there if you have time, just to be confident with the course shell.
Yeah, that's right.
Kathleen, may I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I did my scavenger game or hunt, but in fact, my answers, not all of them are correct.
Uh-oh. That's
so,
okay.
What about this case?
Do you want to look at, is it okay? Who's talking to me right now? Was that Allah?
Yes.
Oh, Inas. Inas, is it okay if I share your scavenger hunt with the class really quickly?
Yes, of course. Why not?
Okay, let me just find it.
Sorry for the interruption, but I received a message from him. She says she's out of internet connection now, so she cannot rejoin Zoom meeting again.
Oh, well, thank you for telling me that. So could you just tell her that, well, A, I'm sorry, but B, the meeting is being recorded, so she'll be able to look at the recording?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna briefly share my screen. Now, Allah, I wonder if you turned your scavenger hunt in or not. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not looking for Allah. I'm looking for Inas. Inas. Inas, is this you?
No, it's not me. No, not Inas Kamal.
Is this you with a name in Arabic?
Yeah. No, this is Ahmed.
Oh, there we go. Okay. If you have trouble finding something, you can type it into Google Drive always and it comes up. Okay. Write the names. Ah, I see. All right. So Inas, write the names of 3 important links you can access. So Inas, where did you find this information?
In fact, I went to the important links. Then I think I pressed something there. Yes, so I collect this information from, I don't remember where exactly. I think, yeah, from the important things. Yes, from this one, I got, yeah, from these, yeah, I collect them from these links.
That's odd because I don't, oh, okay. I see what you did. Whoops. So you actually opened this and then copied this. Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I'm in instructor mode. You copy that one. Well, I mean, that's okay because at least you found, I think maybe my instructions weren't so clear, but you found the important links, which is the most important thing.
Okay.
Where can you find, so you wrote square posts. What did you mean here?
Classworks.
Here in classwork?
No, I mean here classwork. When I wrote square supposed to mean classwork.
So I think this one I would consider incorrect because there are a couple of different places where you can find it, right? You can find it in Stream, or you can find it in digital tools and resources. So that would be the answer that I was looking for there. And then you wrote a question here. Did you put it in the discussion board?
No.
So can you try to do that for me for tomorrow?
By God, inshallah.
Inshallah. Shukran. And then find and okay, so you wrote the name of this actually doesn't look so bad. A list of great and beneficial. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, so you only got a couple of questions.
This is my only right answer. I thought this is my only right answer.
No, I don't think so. I think these ones work too. You found those inside the important links. You can access them there. This is a good question, but you just need to put it in the correct place. This is correct, and so is this, and so is this. That was the hardest one to answer.
So this is the bonds part.
Yeah, and that was the hardest one to answer. So I think you actually did a very good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much for you, Kathleen.
Does anybody else have any questions about the scavenger hunt, or even just about how to access things in Google Classroom? No. One thing I will say that we haven't looked at is you can turn off the notifications. So for me, I'm in here as a teacher again, I think. I hate it when I'm in a Google class and every time the teacher adds something, it sends me an email because it causes me a lot of stress. I think, oh no, what do I have to do now? So I turn those notifications off. And you can do that too if you would like to. You can do that in settings. I can't show you how because I'm in the wrong window, but that's just one note. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second. I'm gonna start sharing. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna give a really brief lecture about modes of online learning. And then after that, we're going to do a group activity using a Google Doc to talk about your experiences with synchronous, asynchronous, and hybrid learning. But first, I'm going to yell at my cat. Emma, yeah, stay away from the dog. All right, I'm so sorry about that. So there are 3 basic approaches to teaching online: synchronous, asynchronous, and hybrid courses. Synchronous courses, as their name says, meet together at the same time and involve, online at least, usually a video conferencing software, for example, Zoom. Our course together has been primarily a synchronous course. We've had some asynchronous components, like the Google Classroom activities that you've done on your own throughout the week. But for the most part, we've been together here video conferencing. Asynchronous courses are courses in which students log on, and so does the teacher, at times that are convenient to them to complete assignments. This involves some kind of learning management system. For example, Google Classroom without using Google Meet. So, or Zoom. If we only used Google Classroom and never met together in a video conferencing arena, we would be in an asynchronous course. And I'm going to talk about those today. And hybrid classes are a mix. They involve both a learning management system and some kind of video conferencing. And there are many approaches to hybrid instruction. When universities in the United States started to be affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, instead of having one national policy about what to do about it, different universities made their own policies. And at that time, I was teaching at two different universities, the University of Georgia and the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and they handled the situation very differently. So the University of Massachusetts, Boston went completely online. It was pretty easy for them to do because they already had a graduate program in applied linguistics that is completely online. And the students are enrolled in California, in Florida, and in Massachusetts. They're all over the country. There's really no synchronous component to those courses at all. The University of Georgia doesn't have an all online program. So they went to hybrid teaching, and they did it in kind of a strange way because the University of Georgia didn't close down entirely during the pandemic. They had an option where students could continue to come to school, and they still have that option. They closed for a brief period of time. But what some teachers did was they came into the university, and 10 students at a time were allowed to come in. And those students would sit in the classroom with the teacher wearing masks far apart with pieces of plastic between them. And the teacher would lecture, and at the same time, they would be on Zoom fielding questions. So that's one way to do hybrid learning. And of course, the main motivation for that was to keep people from getting sick, but also to allow people into the classroom who wanted to come. That gained a lot of criticism, though, from people in the community saying, why are you making people go to class? We're supposed to be in a lockdown. The other way to do hybrid courses is like kind of what we're starting to do here, where we meet a little bit and then you work online a little bit, and then we come together and talk about it. So there are different approaches to hybrid learning. Asynchronous courses, we haven't spoken much about yet, but probably all of the courses that you teach have some asynchronous component, right? Even if you're, I know in the poll, some of you said, no, we only meet face-to-face. But even if you only meet your students face-to-face, you probably track their grades somewhere, maybe in a learning management system. So that's an asynchronous approach somewhat. I find that having an asynchronous component to your course is really helpful in fostering communicative environments in online courses. Because online, as you may have noticed, when we're all together, if I say, okay, does anybody have any questions? Well, maybe 5 people will try to ask a question at the same time, and we can fix that by having people raise hands and whatnot, but, or maybe no one asks a question. And if there are, 100 people in the course and 100 people ask a question that lasts 1 minute, well, that's 100 minutes of your course to questions, and that's really not very feasible. So when you allow an asynchronous aspect of your online course, that lets your students engage in interaction just a bit more. They can communicate and collaborate together asynchronously. So You can use group work to promote a communicative environment with many of the same tools we've used synchronously, like Jamboard, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, and breakout rooms. You can combine individual, pair, and group work. You can invite students' opinions and personal experiences into the course, and you can build off students' interest and background knowledge. You can do this in different types of learning management systems. On the sign materials, that is an error, sorry. These are some common learning management systems on the left. We're using Google Classroom. The courses that, or the learning management systems that I have used the most are actually Schoology, eLearning Commons, Canvas, and Blackboard. I know a lot of you in our pre-course survey said that you used Moodle. So I'm actually going to be really interested in learning from you about Moodle, because that's not a tool that I have ever used myself. Features of these courses, of these learning management systems or LMSs, are that they allow teachers to assign and manage materials, to grade and track student work, and to engage in discussion or collaborative projects outside of any kind of Zoom meeting or Google Meet. Now, managing asynchronous courses. These are some tips that I've put together. Giving students a syllabus and timeline ahead of time, and then establishing a routine so that expectations are very clear, is really important, especially with students who have never worked online before. Providing learners with rubrics for assignments and clear discussion guidelines, using a mix of collaborative and individual work, personalizing assignments to minimize cheating, and incorporating office hours for synchronous support. These are all tips for managing your courses that are asynchronous. Tomorrow, we're going to look at an example syllabus from one of my courses that I taught a couple of years ago. And I'm going to ask you to provide a critique of that course. So you'll take a look at the syllabus, you'll take a look at the different materials and activities involved in the syllabus. You'll provide a critique. And then for next week, you're going to prepare a presentation about your own syllabus, which you'll then critique with one another in groups. So I really look forward to looking at your syllabi in the future. I think we should take a little break before we get into the assignment in Blackboard. I'm going to stop the cat from destroying the house. So let's take 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, when we come back, I will ask any questions and we'll move on to the more collaborative portion of the workshop. Are there any questions for now? All right, let's take 5. I'll see you in just a moment.
It's okay.
Okay, is everybody ready to start?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
we are
okay.
ready.
Yes, it's okay.
Yes,
Great.
we're here.
Thank you. And thank you, Wafa, for manning the WhatsApp group.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your help getting everybody into the course. All right, what we're gonna do is I've created and assigned you to breakout groups. But first I'm gonna show you what I would like you to do. So basic. Okay. If you look at, oops. I think I'm gonna ask you to mute yourselves because we've got, awesome, great, thank you. Yeah, we had just had some background noise. So when you go to class work, today's activities are located at the top, and afterwards I'll post the slides and some other resources. But hopefully you're all in Google Classroom and you can come up to March 26th and 27th activities and click here. Now, I like to right click, or if you're using a pad, double click with 2 fingers and open these in a new tab. Because then I can come back here, back and forth if I have any problems. So here we've got the instructions. Each group has 3 people right now. And in your groups, the first thing you're going to do when you go into your breakout room is choose a role, like we talked about last week. So role 1 is to take notes on the discussion and add it to our Jamboard. Role 2 will be to communicate any questions or technical issues to Kathleen via WhatsApp. So your role will be to use WhatsApp to chat with me if your group has any questions. And role 3 will be to report back to the whole group at the end. So that's the person who's going to talk about what your group did together. So after you assign your roles, you're going to do 2 things at once. You're going to discuss and add to the Jamboard. So down here, if you copy this Jamboard and open another tab and paste it in here, you can see we have a Jamboard with 5 slides. The slides correspond to the questions that you're going to discuss together. So let's look first at the questions and then at the Jamboard. First question, are your courses synchronous, asynchronous, or hybrid? What learning management system do you use? And what are the pros and cons of that format? How do you engage your students in collaborative work in synchronous, asynchronous, and or hybrid settings? And then the last 3 questions I have taken from your own questions that you've asked, either in Google Classroom or in our synchronous meetings. So how do you take attendance in your online course without taking up too much time? How do you manage large courses online? And how do you prevent cheating in your online courses? So as you discuss, you're going to add, actually only one person in the group, right? Role 1, whoever takes role 1 is going to add to the Jamboard. And I think the first time we used a Jamboard, there was some confusion because there are different boards. So if you look up here, it says 1 of 5. If you press to the right, this corresponds to like the 3rd question. How do you engage your students in collaborative work? How do you take attendance in your online course without taking up too much time? And how do you manage large courses online? How do you prevent cheating in your online course? So first of all, was anyone unable to access the directions in our Google Classroom? Okay. Second of all, is anyone unable to see our Jamboard? Okay, that's great. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And I am going to start our breakout groups. It is like 7:55 right now. I would like to give you 25 minutes to work together in your groups. And the emphasis is not on getting the correct answer here. I would really love the emphasis to be on learning from each other and remembering that there's a really wide diversity of experiences here. So some people might feel extremely confident with online learning. Some people might be very new to it. Some people might be using Schoology or Moodle, and others might be using Google Classroom. I would love for this to be an opportunity for you to share with each other what each of these learning management systems are like, and to brainstorm together. So I see in the chat on Zoom that Hakar doesn't have the Jamboard link. If you go, Hakar, can you unmute yourself?
I will put it in the WhatsApp group, Karen.
Okay, so, great.
Yes.
I just did.
Okay, I will do that.
Thank you, thank you. And yeah, it is in the group instructions. So if you can access the instruction.
Before we go, excuse me, Kathleen, I have a question and I don't want to take your time, but I have a really good question. In the classroom, if you go there, in the stream, the first post is yours, like posting instruction for group work. But if we go to the classwork site on the classroom, where can you find this document?
Okay, that's a great question. So
yeah, I can't find it actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna exit out. So right now, as I think I mentioned before, which I think is a really good practice for people teaching online. Actually, hold on. I'm just gonna share my entire screen with you for 1 second. whoops. Share entire screen. Okay, now you can see everything in my computer, right? I have at the bottom of the screen here, I'm signed in as a teacher. And in Google Chrome, I'm signed in here as a student. So if I exit out of everything and just go to my own Gmail, and I go down here to Google Classroom, the first thing that opens is the stream.
Yes.
But what I recommend doing is up at the top, click Classwork. Classwork will take you to all of the folders that are organized from the different weeks that we have been together. And I have placed at the top of the page, March 26th and 27th activities. And the only thing in there right now is instructions for group work. So if you click there, then you have to click again on the attachment down here. And that will open the
It
instruction.
wasn't there when I asked, but now when I refreshed my screen, yeah, it is there.
That's very strange. It might be because, whoops, as a teacher in Google Classroom, when you create an assignment, you can set things to open at specific times. So I set that to open at 2 p.m. your time. So it wasn't there before 2 p.m. Yeah, that's a great question. Are there any other, I'm going to stop sharing. Any other questions before I put you in your breakout groups?
Yes, Catherine, I have a question about the role number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Report back to the whole group at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to tell, to give you a summary of what we have done in the group, or to tell you each one individually about our experience in teaching different courses?
Great question. Thank you. So for role 3, what we're actually going to do at the end is we're going to together look at the Jamboard. And after we've started adding things to the Jamboard, I bet that we'll have a lot of the same ideas from different groups. So because there's going to be 7 groups, I think, there's not going to be time for everyone to share their own individual experience. So if you're in role 3, what you're going to do is you're going to summarize what your group contributed to the Jamboard. But if, let's say you're in group 2, if group 1 talked a lot about how to manage cheating online, and you had some of the same ideas, don't repeat them. So you're going to add what was new. So you're going to have about 2 minutes to present from your group anything new your group contributed. So anything new from your discussion that you think would be useful for the rest of the class to know. Does that make sense?
Okay, it's clear now.
Okay, great. Any other questions before we go off into our groups? All right. So if you're having technical issues, remember, I think it's role 2, right? You're gonna text me on WhatsApp. Don't come back into the main meeting room, because it's hard to reassign you to your breakout rooms if you do that. So stay in your breakout.
Can I ask a question? Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, no problem. But first, let me just say, stay in your breakout groups. Don't come back into the main meeting to ask me questions. Ask the questions via WhatsApp, so that it's a little less time consuming to get everybody back in the correct breakout group. If someone in your group loses internet, let's say the person who is in role 1 lost their internet and can't take notes on the discussion to add to the Jamboard, role 2 or 3, you're going to take over that role. All right. And yes, what was your question?
Just I found the link for the Jamboard, but where to open it in a new tab? I mean, I can do it, just this one.
Oh, interesting. So if you, let me share my screen. It depends a little bit on the kind of computer you have, but if you look up at the top, let me close these tabs.
Well, would you please, I may help. She can copy the link and paste it on the toolbar and click on it, it will be open.
Exactly. But if she pastes it on the toolbar here, it will replace the directions. So
no, I mean, just to open a new, window.
Yeah.
Then,
okay, I did it, but it doesn't manage. I don't know why. I open a new tab and I try to copy paste, but there is nothing here. Okay, I don't know.
Oh wait, don't add things yet. Don't add things yet. You're supposed to add what your group discusses. But thank you. I'm glad somebody got into the Jamboard. All right. So you opened a new tab and you pasted the Jamboard, right?
There is nothing, yes.
All right, let me try troubleshooting this in one way here. I'm gonna create, this will show you how to, oh gosh, no. Am I sharing my screen? I am not.
No, yes.
All right, hold on, okay. I'm gonna go into, now I'm in here as a teacher, right? If I go into create material.
Yeah.
Jamboard, add, I can put the link here.
Okay. Oh.
Add link, and then I'm going to put it in the correct folder by selecting topic, and then I can click post. Now, when you go to the classroom, the link to the Jamboard should be there, and you should just be able to click on it and open.
Okay. Thank you. That's great. Thank you very much.
Can you access it now?
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Any last questions? All right. So you've got 25 minutes. I'm going to open your groups now. Okay, so you should have been invited to join your breakout group, and you can click join as soon as it opens. Allah, are you in a group? Okay. Okay, Hussein, are you having problems joining your group?
Yes, Miss Catherine. Now I'm not joining the group.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see what the problem is here. Did you sign in? Huh.
Jamboard.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to, you're not Hamid Hussein, right?
Yes, Hussein Gomar. My name is Hussein Gomar, not Hamid.
Okay, I see. You're in group 4. So I'm going to, at the bottom of your screen, you should see an invitation that will say click to join. Do you see that invitation?
No.
I am going to move you. Move to room.
Yes.
Okay, wait, don't click it yet. Okay, click it now. Ahmed.
Yes.
So, what happened? Were you unable to join your group?
Yes, right.
Okay. Do you know?
I tried to join, but you say no.
All right, hold on. Okay.
Yes, right now.
Perfect. Thank you.
Miss Catherine, but I have invitation on. I joined then, it is closed.
What do you mean it's closed?
I have received the invitation, okay? When I joined, just download, then I enter the room, then it is disconnected. I session.
Well, that is problematic. Are you having internet connectivity problems, do you think?
No.
Huh. Then what I'm going to ask you to do is, can you sign out of Zoom and then sign in again? And I'll reassign you to the room.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mohammed. Mohammed.
Okay, just can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay,
did you get kicked out of your breakout?
Yeah, I was not kicked out, but I entered with my phone because they couldn't hear me well. So I'm in room 5. So if you can please rejoin.
Thank you for remembering that. Yes, I'm putting you right back in room 5. All right.
Now I
are you back? Again. All right, we're gonna try again. I think you were in room 4.
Yes.
All right, good luck. Inshallah. Allah, did you have a problem getting kicked out of your group?
Yes, the electricity shut down and it takes time to come back. No, just no.
Okay, no problem. I can reassign you. I think you were in group 2, right?
Yes, group 1.
Oh, really?
With Hamza, yes.
With Mr. Hamza? Okay. All right. I'm putting you back in.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Kathleen, it happens again with me.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Allah. Do you want to shut your computer down and open it again so that it doesn't happen again? Or I can just put you in group 2. What do you prefer?
It's okay, even with the group 1. It's just the whole electricity, not my computer.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
All right. Well, I'll put you back in group 1 and inshallah it will work this time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to write that
Yeah.
use of both Google Meet,
Yes.
Google Meet, and Zoom. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Miss
Hello,
Catherine.
Catherine.
Hi. Is everything okay here? Can you hear each other and access the
Yes.
Jamboard?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Perfect. I'm going to leave you alone now. And I'm going to go check on the other groups.
Okay.
Literary material, you can ask them such questions. But when you teach linguistics or grammar, you cannot ask them to provide their own opinion.
Yes, I agree with you totally.
When it's come across to linguistics or to scientific topics.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yes. Okay, what about the programs that you are using nowadays, beside the official platform that the college or the university assign? Is there any other programs you may use to help your students or to help facilitate this e-learning?
Okay, that we do. Another question what they ask?
That's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Today we are... Hi, Miss Kathleen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you having technical issues in your group?
Actually, Miss Kathleen, just I can access the Jamboard and Miss Ala cannot access, but Miss Watha is with us, but we cannot hear her. I think she is going in another group, Miss Watha.
Interesting. Wafa may have, I think some people are signed into two devices, like a phone and a computer. And in those cases, they may have been assigned to two groups, but only joined one of them, but she shouldn't have joined if she joined, I don't know. But anyway, you weren't able to join the, you weren't able to add things to the Jamboard, is that correct?
Yeah.
Just me, I can add it. We added some sticky notes on the Jamboard, but Miss Ala cannot.
Okay.
I can't access in the Jamboard. This is the problem. Yeah.
How are you trying to access it?
By the telephone, by the laptop, but didn't access also.
And are you signed into our Google Classroom?
Yeah.
Well, that's very strange. If you'd like to email me, we can find a time to sit down and look at the settings in your computer to find out why you can't access that. Okay. Yeah, so feel free to send me an email about that. And thank you, Mohammed, for adding to the Jamboard. I'm gonna leave this group for now and give everyone a 1-minute warning, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
We thought that there are 5 slides, but it turned to be 19 slides of the Jamboard.
I think that's because if you keep clicking through, each time you click further, it adds a slide.
Okay.
We started with 9 slides and we ended up with 19.
I know. I know.
Yes.
But that's okay.
So you can imagine we asked teachers, we could not manage the 9 slides. So what about 100 students?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that comes down to training, right? In how you use those. Another thing that you can use is Google Slides. If you use Google Slides, like Jamboard automatically adds slides if you advance the Jamboard. Google Slides just keeps it all in one place. And tomorrow we will experiment with Google Slides as well. All right, is everybody back?
Yes, okay.
Yes.
It's already done.
Ms. Catherine.
Okay, so I am going to share my screen and then I am going to ask group 1 to present their information. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you'll have about 2 minutes each to present what you've discussed. I've got to keep it 2 minutes just because of our time. So listen carefully to the other groups and don't repeat what they say. So only add something new. So group 1, since you're beginning, you won't be able to say everything.
I mean, I'm in group 1, by the way. Just to sum it up, the types of online learning. I mean, all the groups agrees that all the types are used. And for, let me say, how to engage students in classroom work, of course, by giving them assignments and then to discuss them collectively. And other things that are, I mean, how to take attendance for students, I mean, in a short time. This is when we have an electronic Google form in the way it will be filled, and then to check the absentees and the attendance for the students. And well, these are things that I summarized, but I don't know, is it within the time, or I took?
Yep, I have a timer set. You have 1 minute and 19 seconds. So what did your group say about?
Something about the advantages and disadvantages of online learning. Of course, we focus on disadvantages in the way that it does not build the character of a learner, but the way face-to-face learning can build the psychology of the learner. And this is not available in online learning. How can I have an effect on the learner if he cannot see me and he cannot, I mean, feel me? This is the idea. So there is, let me call a psychological factor in learning, that is learning by effect. And this does not exist in online learning. And thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to reset my timer and ask group 2. Group 2, who was your presenter? Maria?
Mr. Ala, yes, started.
Okay. Hero, who is your presenter?
Mr. Ala.
Mr. Ala, you may need to unmute yourself.
I think she has a problem for the connect.
Then Hiro, would you mind presenting for your group?
Okay, why not?
Thank you.
You're in group 7.
What?
Hiro, you are in group 7, correct? And
yes, I said that second one, second group.
Group 2, right?
7, not second. You are in group 7, and she's looking for the second group, group number 2. Am I right? Kathleen, you are looking for group number 2, the second one.
Yes, I am looking for group number 2.
Yes, Hiro thought you say group number 7.
That's true, that's true. Group number 2 was, oh no, Hiro is in group number 2.
Yes, I joined the second group.
Yeah. Hiro's in group number 2. In group number 7 was Wafa and Mohammed, I think. So Hiro, just for the sake of time.
But Wafa and Muhammad and me, Ala and me, the same group.
Interesting. Well, Hiro,
in a group.
Why don't
okay.
Hiro, in your group, hold on, sharing is paused. Let me start sharing again. Hiro, can you present for the group that you were in?
Why not? Okay. In the first question is why you must do how to use it. The mostly astronomic and Birdman sometimes, because after the discussion we say face to face it is very better for the without any chatting and anything. They previous that you use it that one. The second thing, when you use it, teamworking or example for the presentation and group, you can management the large group because only engage students to attending engaging student the activity for the in the large group. The other is why in the other thing is before the lecture how to management a large group or how to save the time when without too much the time. You can send before the lectures, send the material and assessment via Moodle or Telegram or on WhatsApp before the Zoom meeting or before the going to the online explaining the lectures. Also, we have another point is how to cheating, how to avoid the cheating the students in online. You can divide it into a small group of students divided in the small group or different subject or different topic on small group of students. For example, when you have three example, you have three groups. Each group is you have a specific example, not on the exam, on all exam, the same group, the same students. We have a different question for the different students. We have another point is the how to management it or how to in the last courses direct question for each one. It is the another solution for the cheating. Direction question for each one when we have teaching in the Zoom meeting or classroom. Each direct question for the students, you get the market for the students or question for one or two students. For example, you have one question for two students, not more, and a different question for different students. It is the better way. And also the last one, it is use it, how to use it before the use any online courses or online platform.
I'm going to interrupt you there because you're out of time, but thank you for sharing all of those wonderful ideas.
My net it is sometimes very slow. I'm poor. I don't know why.
Thank you. That was a lot of great ideas. I especially appreciate the cheating ideas.
Thank you.
All right, group 3, who is going to present your group? Group 3, you were... That is Ban, Inas, and Hamid.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I forgot the number of our group.
Oh, that's okay.
And I sent a message to them. They didn't reply me.
That's okay. It's hard to keep track of.
So I'm representing my group. I'm going to go through the questions quickly. Question number 1, we had for the question, what are your courses, synchronous or asynchronous? We had both, I think. For synchronous, we used Google Meet, Zoom, and asynchronous, we had Google Classroom, Moodle. And question number 2, pros and cons of the online instruction and these online modes. Google Classroom was easy to use. It was user-friendly, not very difficult. But cons, we had some students and even teachers, they have difficulties using or getting used to using Google Classroom and different apps of Google. So I think technical issues, maybe internet access, also were some cons of online instruction and using Google Classroom. Question number 3. How do you engage your students in collaborative work? Well, we used online teaching, like as a whole, like the group together. I didn't have large groups. I didn't have like a big number of students. We had only 25 to 30 students at most. So we had online discussions. And one of my group members said that she divided the group into 2 groups because there were a big number of students in the group. So she divided them into 2 groups. We had we assigned homework so they could do it together, like a synchronous activity.
I am sorry, you are out of time. Thank you for sharing your ideas.
Sorry.
And we're going to move on to group 4, which was Hakar, Hozan, and Hussein.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, actually, since we teach online, we do not teach directly online. We record it and upload it on Google Drive and share the links with students on the tools, names, models, YouTube, Google Classroom. So we have mixed between 3 types actually. And our student, was not face-to-face to make courses online with our student attended regularly. Only once we assign assignment, we can see who sent it or who didn't send it. Before lecture, send the material and the assignment by models, telegrams, WhatsApp, Google Classroom. And this is when we send this material. How do we take attendance in our online courses without take up too much time, because we have a larger number of the students? We divided them to groups, homework, direct questions, maybe 6 groups or 7 groups. So it is depending on the number of the students. To avoid a cheat, actually, we use Google Classroom quiz form. It is right, quiz quiz. I don't remember exactly the name of it. Mm-hmm. And it have more than one option. Actually, this option make avoid more a cheat. For example, when I make question multiple choice, make these questions randomly. I even the answers make randomly, and also make how can I say it? Don't active the option that gave the correct answer, and don't active the option gave the degree or the score for the student. At this things actually we avoid most of the cheat.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much. And you are just out of time right now, so I'm going to stop you there. Thank you. That was
thank you.
Number 4. So now we are on to group number 5, which was Mahmoud, Maria, and Nechirvan.
That's me. Thanks, Kathleen, for this good experience for me, because me and my colleagues, we use different modes. Okay, I use Google Classroom, and Meet, and my friends, my colleagues use Moodle. Okay, and I get some notes from them. Okay, I think the new thing that I've discovered in our group, that how we manage larger classes. Okay, and I think there is a good idea. I think it was said by Mr. Charvan, is which said that to divide the groups, the students, into smaller groups, and these groups must be mixed. Okay, males and females, and students from different levels. Okay, because this will enable students to interact with each other and get the most important things from for example, the good ones. Okay, the groups must be varied. Okay, the good one would be not. I would not say the bad would not be the good one. Okay, the students with different levels. I mean here. Okay, and also we talked about how we take the attendance sheet. I didn't do it, honestly, but my friends do it, and they said we take. They give them 4 or 5 minutes to write down their names in the chat bar, and then we say we write down the names of the attendees. Okay, and the last thing, which is about how to prevent cheating in online courses, and this is a big problem. I think we all suffer from this, and we have no clear answer about it. That's it.
Okay, so the last one is we don't know. That is useful. Thank you very much. I appreciated
actually thank you. Let me add something to my friend Mr. Mahmoud. Thanks to him. But in how to prevent cheating during online courses, usually I personally give my students different individual tasks. If they are not in large number, for example, if I have 30 or 40 students, I give them different individual tasks. Or sometimes, because I have I teach language skills, I give them questions where they can state their own views and opinions. Yeah. So in that case, I try to prevent like cheating as much as possible. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That's actually, I mean, that's actually a really good idea. So thank you. And I also really appreciate that your group's thoughts on managing larger courses. So that I think was group 5. And now we're going to move on to group 6, which was Amani, Sadiq, and Wafa. Yes. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to present our group, Wafa. Okay. Though everything is said, we have reached to the point that everything can be repeated. But let me just, I mean, according to attendance, how can we take attendance? I'm going to jump from here to there. It's by Google Form. And there are some special attendance options in the Google Meet. Though me and Amani are really not, convinced of taking online attendance, because students can easily just attend, sign in, and then they are not there. I mean, it's just their names. So yeah. According to cheating, how can we avoid cheating? We can avoid cheating in the exam by giving them indirect questions and comprehension questions. And also like the previous group. So we should have.
Wafa, you cut out for a second. Can you repeat what you just said?
So I was talking about how could we avoid cheating in the exam. So we can ask indirect questions and comprehension questions and opinion questions. So these type of questions that students cannot copy paste from each other. They need to be attending real lectures in order to know the answer. Yeah, and everything else is already said, actually. We agree with most of the managing large classes is also by dividing them into sections, subsections, in different, Google Meets, so that we can manage those large classes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's it. Everything is repeated.
That is, actually, you added a lot of new things, so I appreciate that a lot. And you are just about to be out of time.
Okay.
So, whoops, there we go. All right. Group 7, that was Mohammed, Wafa, and Allah, I think. Who's presenting in this group?
Miss Catherine, I think our group, it was with Miss Wafa, but we cannot contact her. Just me and Allah. I think she had a problem with connection.
No, I was in group 7 with Hero and Mr. Ala.
Yeah, I think, Wafa, were you signed on 2 different devices? Like a phone and a computer?
Because I have on phone.
I presented all of them.
Yeah.
You confused us.
The WhatsApp group, I signed in another device.
Yeah. So that's okay. Wafa was in another group, but she appeared to be in your group, and that's all right. So, Mohammed and Allah, what did your group discuss? Anything that hasn't already been said yet?
Like other colleges say that most thing they say they are we completely think about that. Regarding the first question, that which teaching method is best, we think, me and Ms. Ala, that the hybrid teaching is especially good for large number of students. And how we can handle that, we have to divide the student to group or subgroup to manage that large number of them. Regarding the attendance, I think like Ms. Ala said, that we have to use Telegram or WhatsApp so we can get the attendance, or we can use Google form, and we ask students to fill the form. And what about the cheating? I think just we say that we ask students to use the camera web I don't think any other problem, another solution for this problem is it. We cannot prevent cheating 100%, but we at least we can try to make it less than what is 100% cheating is there, but we have to try to make it less than that. I think just this, and we how to manage large course. As we say, we use Moodle or FCT or Google Class to make notes for each student. I think that our opinion.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And I appreciate everyone's attention to sharing only what was new and staying under time. That was, I appreciate that a lot. Those were really great ideas. I particularly appreciate the ideas that you shared on cheating. And I have a small presentation about that for another week, but you have pretty much already in your groups brainstormed a lot of the ideas that were in my presentation. So really wonderful job. For now, we're out of time. I can't stay in chat today because I have my meeting, but I'm happy to stay in chat tomorrow. And as always, if you're encountering any technical difficulties, I'm happy to create an office hour outside of our class time together where we can troubleshoot your personal technical difficulties together. So feel free to WhatsApp me or email me, and thank you for sharing your wonderful ideas today. I will see you tomorrow, I think at 3 p.m. your time. All right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so nice. Thank you.
Well, you're very nice as well. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I'm ending the meeting. I'll see everybody tomorrow.